We got who we got in the building right now? Hold on.
Give them shout outs. Give them shout outs.
We got M. Hopper in the building.
And Hopper.
We got my guy M. Hopper in the building. We got special guests here tonight. I see you, Sneak Dog. What's up, baby? I see you. Shout out to Zach Ox. Zach Ox in the building. What's up, Zach Ox? Yeah. What's going on? What's going on out there, y'all? How y'all doing? How y'all doing out there?
What up?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Talk about some stuff. Ready? Thank y'all for tuning in. I see you. Bring them in. Share live.
We still in the Taurus space, all you Gemini small packs.
Oh boy.
We Gemini small packs. I said it. Yeah, we still in the Taurus space. Nah, shout out to the Gemini.
Yeah.
I don't want to get jumped though. I don't want to get jumped.
The fake shout
I
out.
know a lot of them. I hate this. Send them my love to y'all.
Shout out. You just gave the fake shout out. We got a real special guest in the building. We got my guy M. Hopper in the building. What's up, M. Hopper? Yeah.
My brother,
Yeah. What up?
we got the Queens of the
You could have been on the radio.
Yeah, man. You know, feel like we got bad in the video.
Yeah, we got
That's what we said, man. Shout out to my fucking you know, I feel got Vincent Page in the building. CEO of Page Enterprises.
Let's get into it, bro.
Production. So let's talk about this new black song. I mean, not real quick, right?
What's that? Let's talk about it.
Whoa, I'm powerful.
No, I turned it down, bro. I turned it down.
Oh,
I turned it down, bro.
Yeah, you got to hurt my phone.
Yo, hold on.
See?
All right, let's go.
Yeah, so they're giving out incentives now for you.
Yes,
if
you
you want to
see
take
that?
the vaccine. Yeah, they
You get
give
like
out
$100 or something.
Metro
Like that.
cards. You know, they giving
That
that.
shit.
Yeah, like giving half off your rent and all that shit.
What up, Chef Dollars?
Yo, what up, Chef Dollars? I see you. Bro.
You know, the crazy thing is, that makes it even scarier. If you feel that you have to pay me or give me some type of incentive to take a vaccine, listen, no disrespect to the people who have taken it, because I know a lot of you have taken it, and I might be right behind y'all. I can't say that I won't, but I'm just not ready right now. But you got to do what's best for you at the end of the day. You got to do what's best for you. So it is what it is. Yeah, let's get right into
So don't
it.
get into it. We got this dope guest, man. He's a poet. He's a wrestler, two-time champion. You know, this is something different.
No, turn it on.
Yeah, wasn't ready yet.
No, but it's still staticky. It's bothering me.
It's bothering me too, but what can we do? It's still gonna bother, even if you turn it on. You still got that one, and you got that's the turn of arms. Yeah.
So we got this dope guest in the building.
Oh no, it's good.
You know, he's a wrestler, two-time champion. You know, this brother's an artist, a poet. You know, you catch him at Tuesday Night Expressions every Tuesday, hosted by Artists Up at Flavors.
Woo woo.
You know, so we're gonna give a round of applause for my guy Vincent Cage, y'all. Round of applause for him. Come on, man.
Vincent K in the building.
Vincent K. How you doing, brother?
You know,
Finally.
How y'all doing?
Hey, Bill.
How y'all doing today? How y'all doing? Hey, what's up, y'all homies? How y'all doing?
Sammy.
Woo.
I see y'all. Well, welcome.
How y'all doing?
How you doing? Is the question.
What's going on, Vincent K?
I'm doing good.
It's been a long time coming.
I'm not gonna lie, it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, this brother been trying to get on the show forever. We finally got him on May 12th. He was ready. He said, yo, May 12th, he's here. You know, he got no schedule. He got to whoop nobody ass because he's a two-time champion, world champion.
Yep.
That's what you are.
Yo, this is dope.
Yeah, turn that towards you.
Yeah.
More, because you do more than talking on this one. No, not you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hey, so tell the people, man, who you be, you know. They just know from what I'm telling them, but tell the people who you be live and direct.
I
You know,
got you.
on YouTube Live, Facebook, Instagram. Tell the people who you be.
Well,
Yes.
as many people have known me, y'all know me as Vincent Cage, but y'all don't know the story behind like the character. Like Vincent Cage is not just some promoter. He's not just some writer. He's a guy who basically had to go to a dark place to find his mojo, to find who he was. You know, Vincent Cage was just a guy who, I mean, to be honest, like he had many names, but he only went by one because that's what everybody respected him as. They respected him as, you know, the creator, not just the wrestler. And a lot of people, you know, don't know the real story behind it. Like Cage had to really, you know, go behind the dark side of things and had to really find, you know, I mean, he started in so many different things. He started in BBW, which was Bloodbath Wrestling. He was an owner. He basically was an artist. And he basically just went into the darkness for a long time to really just find who he really was. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, question. All right. So you're talking, and are you talking in the third person, or like I'm trying to understand. So you're saying that, you know, who you are is Cage, but there's a lot more behind the story. Is what you're saying,
Yes.
right? Okay. So my question to you is, you said it's, you know, dark. You had to come
One,
about it.
two,
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that. Like, where did all that come from? Where's the darkness come from?
Okay, so basically, I basically changed my name to get out of the shadow of my dad because I didn't want to recognize myself as my dad. Like I wanted to recognize myself as myself because everybody kept on saying, "You act like your dad. You will always be like your dad," and that's not who I am. You know, yeah, everybody knows me as Anthony, but that's not who I want to be represented as.
Okay, so a lot of people would love to be like their dad. What makes you say you don't want to be like your dad?
Basically, my dad had a motive of, like, basically, like, his motive was a different outcome. Like, he wanted something, like, he wanted me to be just like him, meaning, like, he wanted me to follow his path. But that's not what was set for me. You know, God came to me and said, you know, you got to find yourself. You have to believe in yourself. And in order to do that, you have to find your perspective in life. And that's when, you know, Vincent Cage, wrestling was just that motive for me, you know, and that's how Vincent Cage came about. You see, because everybody could say, oh, Anthony is the guy, you know, and that's what I want.
It's okay.
It's all good.
It's not your fault.
It's all good, brother.
It's all about technology.
That's it.
Let's get this.
Yeah, so that's kind of where it came from. Wrestling, before I was known as Vincent Cassidy in FWF. Like I was known as Vincent Cassidy, but I was still trying to find who I was. And once Vincent Cage came about, that's how it all came about in that. It was all about me being a writer. I had to go into my dark, I had to go into the Anthony stage to find my dark side. And that's a lot of things that, all that stuff that happened with Anthony came about with Vincent Cage.
I know you're an artist too. It seems like every time you get up on a mic, it's like you're telling a story.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like I love it when you get up there. It's like I'm reading a book. One of those stories, those ill stories. Like
Right.
It's like a trilogy. It's like a trilogy within a movie.
Right, exactly. So I love when you do that every Tuesday. Tuesday night expressions at Flavors. That's on 3rd Avenue. For those of you who don't know, that's Artist Up is the host, the hottest open mic on Tuesday. So let's get back into your wrestling. So when you started wrestling, when did you get into wrestling and wanted to, embrace that?
Well, I've been wrestling since I was a kid. Like I always did backyard, and that was always my dream. My dream was, I followed a lot of superstars back in the day. Like I followed one of my greatest superstars of all time, MVP, Triple H, Edge, Eddie Guerrero. Those were guys. Hot Rod was always my favorite. How he he directed the questions, but he changed the answers. And that's kind of who I analyzed. But most importantly was Stone Cold Steve Austin in China.
Oh wow!
Those were guys. Those were people that I analyzed as a kid.
What about The Rock?
The Rock was always my favorite too. He was like, he would always just open up a can of, whoop-ass on everybody he wanted to see. So
That's Stone Cold.
And I'm gonna take it back further than that. Ultimate Warrior.
Oh yeah,
Hulk Hogan. Classic, shit like that.
But my favorite wrestler of all time, I would have to say, it would have to be Edge, because Edge was the ultimate opportunist. Like, it's like you can never understand what his motive was. His motive was just, you see, everybody wants to be a wrestler, but you see, I don't want to be a wrestler. I need this. I want this. I want this more than anybody in the world. So sometimes you got to put your mind to what you believe in. You got to put your mind into what you want, because ain't nobody gonna give you anything in this world.
Yeah, that's dope.
Did y'all say The Undertaker?
Oh yeah,
That's my dude. That's
And
my
Kane.
dude.
And
Yes,
Kane too.
The Brothers of Destruction. I mean, to be honest,
man.
if you kind of really look at it, that's kind of how they saw me and my brother. That's kind of what started me to become a wrestler, because me and my brother, we used to watch Sunday Night Heat every Saturday. We used to watch Sunday Night Heat, and we used to watch guys like Psychosis in WCW, Rey Mysterio Jr. We've seen, super crazy. Like we've seen a lot of like WCW superstars like DDP, also known as Diamond Dallas Page. Lex Luger. We used to watch it every Saturday morning. The Inferno matches was always the greatest, but that's what made me want to become a wrestler. And I remember the first time I had a match, it was basically a first blood match, and I literally shed blood the first time, and that's how I knew I wanted to be a wrestler.
So you want to be a real wrestler?
Yes.
You don't want to be
That's a case.
right. Okay.
You want to be a professional wrestler.
Yeah. So all those people we named, Undertaker and all that stuff,
Yeah.
that's not the good stuff.
No, it's
Right.
not. See, everything is. See, I am part of a company called World Wrestling Extreme, which is WWX, and a lot of the things that we learn, it's all acting. Yeah, everything is acting. But you see, one thing my boss always said is that you have to communicate with who you're in the ring with, because communication is the key. You have to know how to communicate. You have to know how to perform. You have to know, your opponent. The same way your opponent, it's like a teamwork thing. You have to know who you're in the ring with, because if you don't know, I'm not saying underestimate your opponent, but know who you're in the ring with. Know who you're getting involved with, because whoever you're getting involved with, they can either hurt you or they can either benefit. They can either help you out. You just have to know. In my line of work, I have no limitations. I have no excuses. I know that there's a lot of work that I need to do, and that's what this Cage Enterprise production, because I'm looking for the next the next big star. I'm looking for the next talented person who's going to take this on to the next level.
You know, that's dope.
Do you have people already?
Yes, I have several people who have joined this podcast many times. And it's like I said, last week when I was doing the podcast, I told everyone, this is family. When you basically stand against family, there is nothing like it. You have to know your competition. You have to know who's a threat. Sometimes when you go outside, you don't know if you're gonna make it. You don't know if your last breath is your final hour. Your final hour can be your last destiny. And this is my legacy. This legacy, I plan on taking this to the next level. And not just my father's legacy. I plan on taking this because I want to show my family that I am able to do something. But I want to show everyone around the world that what you do is going to benefit you. Don't do it because you see somebody else doing it. Do it because you want to do it. And with all the supporters that I have in my corner, hey, and ambition is priceless and ambition is key.
Yeah, that's a fact, bro. That's a
You
fact.
know?
And no, I want to get into the Cage,
Oh, yeah, of course.
podcast, Cage Production podcast. How did you start that? Like, for
Well, I started several companies.
Several
It was a lot of companies I started. I started a company called Revolution Inc., which basically it was about 4 people. It was 4 members, and we basically was just going out into the neighborhood and just basically anybody that ever stood up to us or anybody that ever looked at us wrong, we just did what we had to do. We had to handle those type of businesses. But then I noticed is that I didn't want to be recognized as a gang member. I didn't want to be recognized as, as a bully. I've done a lot of things in my as a kid, but I wanted to. Those were just temporary organizations, and I started a company called the Bloodline Alliance, which basically it was 3 members, and I was the head of it, and we wanted justice. We wanted to believe in something instead of just giving. We wanted to do something that nobody's never seen before. And then it just didn't work out. So Cage Enterprises Production, Enterprises was an organization. Production, it was about putting it into motion. It was about believing in something other than yourself. It was for everyone, not just for me. So that's how the Cage Enterprises Production podcast came about. I was talking about corruption. I was talking about politics. I was talking about the economy. Look at how the economy has literally changed over some amount of years. Look at how this whole thing, when Donald Trump was president, look how that came about. A lot of people, want to talk about the bad, but nobody ever wanted to talk about the good that has happened. I mean, yeah, we got the stimulus checks. Yeah, we got, and if it wasn't for the stimulus check, I wouldn't have been able to put this production together. Sometimes, everything you do in life has a worth, but sometimes there are consequences for what you do. And yeah, a lot of people would dodge me. A lot of people were saying, oh yeah, you're never gonna amount to nothing. I don't care about politics. I care about making headlines and showing the world what I'm able to do.
And you sound like a wrestler too before the match is up, like the main event.
That's a fact. I mean,
Yeah.
how you doing, Louis? How you doing, man? It's like this is a guy who basically gave me an opportunity. I was part of the most dominant group that sports entertainment has ever seen. I was part of the Young Bullets. I was one of the guys who basically saw what was right for business, Yeah, if it meant stabbing a few people in the back to get where I'm at, then so be it. Because sometimes in life, yeah, sometimes things ain't just given to you. You have to work for everything you have.
Yeah, that's a fact. You gotta go out there.
And if it meant stepping on a few toes to get up to the top, then so be it. Because like I said, you can't trust no one. Certain people you can't trust. But at the end of the day, it's those real supporters that's going to save you. It's those real supporters that's going to protect you and that's going to stick by you. In life, you can be a kid or you can be an adult. You can either be a sheep or a wolf. You can either be the sheep that keeps on whining and complaining, or you can be that wolf that stands for justice and the American way. And that's what I stand for. I stand for justice in the American way. I may not be Superman, but hey, you put an S on my chest and I'll put you to the test. It's just that simple.
Oh man. It sounds like you get prepared for the fight and some shit.
I mean, hey, yo, it's money, power,
That's how
respect.
he sound every Tuesday too. His
Money,
introduction is like,
money, power,
I love it,
respect.
though.
That's the key in life, man. You can't pass up on money. If it's a dream to make money, then you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna make your money. It's like my friends always told me, you can mix business with pleasure, but you also can mix friends with money. You can make money or you can make friends. You can't do both. And my line of work, I was lucky and fortunate to make money, and I was lucky enough to have my share of friends. But sometimes in life, you have to understand what you're about. You have to understand what you're fighting for. Most people are born into this business, but only a few succeed. And only a few people are willing to make the ultimate sacrifice. The question is, are you willing to make those sacrifices? Are you willing to put it into perspective? Are you willing to go down with the ship? I gotta be honest with you, hell yeah, I'm willing to go down with the ship, because at the end of the day hey, if I'm the stinger, then so be it. Because I'm willing to go down with my ship.
I just want to take a quick second and just say, everybody on the live, if you have any questions, make sure you bring them through. We're reading the questions right here.
Vincent
right now.
Cage in the
We have
building.
Vincent Cage
Hell
in the
yeah.
building, and he is going to answer all your questions. So get those questions in, have them rolling in, y'all. Roll them questions in. We need it. Let's go. I got a question for you. So, are you actively doing wrestling now?
Right now, I'm currently in training right now. I train every Saturday. I show up, and it has been also brought up to my attention that this is my one final shot. I have to show up every Saturday. If I don't, could be my last time. So I have to put everything in perspective. I have to put all that hard work, all that determination. I have to put it, because it's like that one life, one chance. See, I didn't tattoo it on my shoulder because it's just some type of prize. No, it's something I live forward to. It's something that I leave, I breathe, and this is something that I've always wanted to do. Wrestling is in my blood. Wrestling is something, I did have dreams that, yes, I wanted to be in law enforcement, but I conquered that. But I also did get a lot of, publicity because of it. I had a lot of people discrediting me because, they said, oh, you're just a white boy with a badge and you ain't gonna amount to nothing. But with all the, I said to myself, maybe law enforcement just wasn't my thing. I've always wanted to fight, and I've always wanted to be a fighter, and that was always what I wanted to do. And looking at the things that I have done, yes, I became a 2-time television champion.
You're accomplishing your goal.
I became a United States champion, and I've also became, in every company that I've been in, I became champion. But now that was back in 2020. It's 2021 now. It's time to do something different. It's time to put this training in, and it's time to get the job done. Because you never know when it's your last breath.
Like, not to get off the subject with the wrestling, but the wrestling, you said the one that you do is the real wrestling. But I never knew that the WWF was like fake. I knew something was fishy when they changed it to WWE. Because remember, back in the days, it was World Wrestling Federation. And then, they switched it to
Entertainment.
Yeah, that's when I knew something was fishy. Like, I didn't. That kind of blew my
The
mind.
day I found out, I was so disappointed because I used to watch wrestling with my father every Monday and Sunday or something.
Main event, Royal Rumble,
You know what got me really
SummerSlam.
upset? When they really just cut themselves and they bleed. I'm like,
Yeah.
That's when you
just
go
get hit by a
entertainment.
can bleed.
Well,
That's what I'm watching for.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but actually, my dad actually met Stone Cold Steve Austin and met China at the WF restaurant that used to be on 42nd. And my mom actually had the recording of, now usually in WWE they never record stuff like this. They never actually really showed stuff like this. But my mom, she had a video of Owen Hart's death. And usually they never show stuff like that. But my mom was the one that told me. She told me, and that's when they actually cut off the air. But usually they never show stuff like that. But when I heard about it, it really made me stop watching wrestling for a minute. Because I couldn't, I grew up watching Owen Hart. I grew up watching Bret Hart. And, the Hart Foundation was one of my favorite superstars of all time.
That's a fact. Excellence of execution.
That's a fact. So to see that actually happen, and what made me start getting back into watching it was NXT. NXT was actually a brand of Vince McMahon, which they had 8 rookies and 8 WWE's pros, which they had, all the rookies from season 1 of NXT. They had Wade Barrett, Daniel Bryan, David Otunga, they Skip Sheffield, they had Michael Tarver, all these guys from different promotions. Thank you. They had every superstar from different promotions like FCW, and they gave one contract to one person to be the next breakout superstar, and it happened to be Stu Bennett, also known as Wade Barrett, he was basically known as a bare-knuckle fighter. And there's a big story behind Wade Barrett. Like, there was a big story that basically, he got into a fight, and basically, he owed somebody money, or somebody owed him money or whatever, and he got hurt in his back. So that's what made him want to become a professional wrestler.
Can I say R.I.P. to Luke Harper, please?
Yes,
R.I.P. to Luke Harper and his family. Blessings.
Blessings, man.
Blessings, R.I.P.
But that's what made me, me watch wrestling again, and that's kind of, watching, the Nexus form and stuff like that. I used to watch like every Friday Night SmackDown. I would tune in, and I would see, and that's what made
Raw and all that.
And that's what made, and every Saturday, this is kind of ironic. What made me want to be a WWE superstar, or what made me wanted to become a wrestler, I used to go out every Saturday, and I had a lot of people question me like, "Yo, why is he jumping on the steel chair? Why is he attacking the steel chair?" Because it was something I wanted to do. I said to myself, you got to know how to take a chair shot. You got to know how to take a bump. If you don't know how to take a bump, then you're not ready to become a wrestler. And I would do that every Saturday. I would sit there and run my head through a guardrail. Like, I would just sit there and just run my head through it, because I wanted to do something. I wanted to know how to take what it is to feel like to be busted open. I wanted to know what it's like to take a steel chair to the head. I wanted to know what it was like to get kicked in the face. And ever since then, that's all I've ever did. And I would go into the park every Saturday, and I would throw myself on the floor. Like, I would just take a bump, boom, boom, boom. Just keep throwing myself on the floor until I got it right. And I will hear the criticism in my head, like, "Yo, this guy is crazy. This guy is sick." But everybody, that's what everybody calls me. Everybody doesn't even call me Vincent Cage. Everybody says the wrestler, the future. That's what everybody says. And that's what everybody knows me as. And that's when Vincent Cage came about, once I started getting into the professional business.
So you said you practice every Saturday. Where you practice?
I wrestle in Hunts Point.
Oh, Hunts Point.
Yes.
I think I know what you're talking about. So down.
Yeah.
On that side.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right there by somewhere on Lafayette Avenue.
Right. Yeah. Down.
So I go over there every Saturday, and I do professional training, and that's where I go to do professional, and I basically do a lot of training out there. So that was always my dream. My dream was to be, and I didn't expect to get where I was. If it wasn't for guys like Chris Angel, guys like like Jeremiah Creed, Tristan Taylor, Sny Vendel, like all these guys that basically, have helped me into being the superstar that I was meant to be. I remember my first time coming back, I faced Chris Angel, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought I was gonna die, but we, everything is, trained. Everything is, you just gotta know how to communicate.
Words.
You talking about Chris Angel, like the devil Chris Angel?
No.
No.
So, if people wanted to support you, I guess, how how could they support you in helping you, make sure that you get through? You said that,
Right.
if you don't, make it this time, it might be your last chance. How can we
You can't
support you
think
with
like
that?
that either.
Well, I don't believe in giving up. Like, I don't believe in, there are no second chances in life. You only have one chance.
That's not
And-
true. That's not true, sir.
That's true.
There are second chances.
You don't believe that, but there is.
You please believe there are second chances.
Well, to be honest,
Lactations.
the reason why I say I don't believe in second chances, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I've been given second chances. There were times where people said I was going to die at the age of 23, and I'm 29 now, and I'm still here. So I've survived every, I mean, since we're really going back to, the past, I mean, let's really talk about it. I mean, what really started, I mean, I went through 4 suicides and 4 heart attacks. Before I even found, I mean, losing, one of my relatives, I lost 2 relatives, losing my grandfather and losing my dad. So,
Rest
yeah,
in peace,
losing a lot of, of those people, like, every day I ask myself, do I feel like this could be my last? Do I feel like, I mean, if I walk out today, would I come back the same way the way I walked out? And I don't believe in that because, you have every opportunity. I've been given second chances. I've been given second chances, at a young age. I was only 17 years old, and I caught my first case at a young age. I was basically arrested for having an imitation pistol and for disorderly conduct.
Wow.
And I thought, my life was going to be over because I could have either gotten shot or the cop told me. He said, yo, we could have shot you or we could have locked you up.
Yeah.
But good thing they gave me a ticket because it was my first offense. And as time went on, I kept catching a case. Like, it's easy to catch a case. It's easy to catch a case, but it's hard to get out of that because that stuff lands on your record. It's hard to get that off your record.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And I was getting arrested every single time until it's basically like I said, I try to get people off the streets, because I was a bully. I was like a gangster, just basically going on to roughshod on every other hood. And I was basically just like looking for a fight. But I told myself, I don't want to be that. I want to be a positive role model. I want to be something more. So I said to myself, I want to go into the world and I want to go out there.
Okay, so again, getting back to the question, well, how can we support you in helping you get through
That's
so
the
that
key
you,
to saying,
you,
y'all.
you make it,
You guys can definitely check me out on Kingmaster_28. Y'all can check me out on Vincent Cage on YouTube. You can definitely check me out on the Cage Enterprises Production podcast, which we on live now.
And right, oh, you're live. Okay, so
Okay,
you
so
go
when
live.
do you do your, go ahead, bro.
Now, when do you do your podcast?
I usually do it from either 12 to 5, or I usually do it from 6 to 7.
What days?
It could definitely be from either Monday through Friday.
Oh, okay.
So I do it
Like pop up.
Yes, it's just
Yeah, okay.
pop up random.
I got you.
But I usually have a different guest. A couple weeks ago, I had Snivendo on the podcast. I had AB on it. I've had several people on it. But y'all can definitely check me out on that, or y'all can definitely check out my products because I definitely am selling products. It's definitely, you can check me out on Cage Enterprises _production podcast. That's my Instagram. The hoodies are $20.
Right,
And
yeah,
the
the t-shirts.
t-shirts
You doing
on-
the vests, you got the vests,
Yes.
the leather vests and the hoodies.
And the t-shirts is only $10. So you can definitely hit me up. Just DM me and I will definitely get back to y'all.
You heard them, y'all. You heard them.
All right, all right, all right. Y'all heard it here. This is what we doing.
Cage.
We're gonna take a brief music break. We thank you for
Hey, what's
coming.
up,
We got a
Latch?
surprise
Latch,
guest for y'all.
Last week,
hi.
Powell.
My
See
guest,
you, Latch.
B Tunes, was supposed to show up, but he's a no-show. We don't know what's going on.
Shout out to
Whatever.
B-Tunes,
But
man.
we hope you're okay, B Tunes. Put us up. Let us know you're good, sir. We was expecting y'all. But we're gonna take a brief music break, y'all. We'll be right back. Stay with us. We got a surprise guest for y'all. You never know who's gonna show up. Let's talk about it. You never know.
Trust me, it wasn't easy. But like they say, life is not easy. It's what you do.
Especially like
Thank you, I appreciate it. I love you, Steve.
You say you was never bought you on, I got some family on the Alameda. I love my city, that's about me, and I bet they know. My name good in any hood, I hung around to her. I got a bitch, a little Appleton, she loving kids. And I remember him, my corner, then I got a bitch. My uncle Jimmy ran a corner on the avenue. We bought a black, and that's the type of shit I never do. I'm from the east, oh shit, mom, but I be everywhere.
Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. So right back.
I live in Bird City, nigga, you already know. And if you
Go get your wine, go get your liquor, go get your beer, go get your popcorn, go get your chips.
you with the shit, you pussy niggas been an actor. My nigga drippin' tryna get the fuck about the jets. They ain't know my business, I'm just tryna get the lip. A lot of rappers in my city have these niggas wet. And I ain't never been the bitch, I'm keeping shit a stack. They say up to the DJ, they should bring us back. I played up, KD discos at the Hammer Jacks. I played up, but I could never love a dumb hoe. She laid up, she laid up. Yeah, my niggas never love when we be sharing though. Cause all these Instagram famous bitches sharing clothes. My mama told me, boy, stop kissing that staying cold. Cause all the bitches ever wanted was your bang roll.
Hey yo, DJ Clutch, what's the vibes?
Laid up, laid up, laid up, got me thinking, babe. Tell me if you with it, cause I'm with it, babe. I haven't heard from you, and I'm with it, babe. Just tell me what to do, and I'm with it, babe. Gucci and Rondo, 50 crib in the middle of the night. I don't want you to see as I put it down. Yeah, babe. I can put you on right. You know that a nigga like me can do the right, oh, babe. Everything I do is amazing. I know. Ain't nobody know crazy. I know. Yeah, yeah. I think you shot it out.
Let me just break it down for y'all really quick.
Mic check.
I just got tired of inviting something. I just basically, my boss basically invited
So let me just break this down 1 second. 1 second. All right, I just want to give you a quick breakdown of what's going on this week. You know, what's the podcast going on today, right now? Y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. Also, tomorrow we got a big birthday party for LB.
Yeah, that's right.
LB, yes, it's going down. It's going
So you Gemini's fall back.
We in Harlem tomorrow. We in Harlem tomorrow at formerly known as Touch of D's. It's now known as Brothers on Linux. Brothers on Linux. Y'all can see the flyer on the page. Friday, we're giving a birthday party for our boy, Sammy. Can't forget about our boy Sammy. So that's going down at Madness Club. And then on Saturday, we back in Harlem. We back in Harlem. Just 1 second. I'll give you one second. Saturday we back in Harlem. We at we're doing a fundraiser for Sheila Simpson. She's running for council for District 9 in Harlem, y'all. So definitely come out and support that. She's doing big things. She's working for the community, y'all. So make sure y'all tune in for that. Let's go. All right, y'all. No further ado, we're gonna get back into it. Like I said, our guest that was supposed to be here tonight, he couldn't make it for whatever reason. I don't know. I have not heard from him. I hope he's okay. It's not like him. I've been talking to him all day, so everything was all good. So be tuned. If you're there, you watching us, you see us, please let us know you're good. And check, call somebody. Call Clutch, call me, call Official, call somebody, let us know you're okay. But no further ado, we did have somebody do a pop-up, and we're going to interview him right now on the spot. He wasn't ready for us, but we ready for him.
This legendary right here. It's legendary.
It's legendary.
You better ask somebody.
We making history right now.
You better ask somebody.
Let's make some noise for Let's go.
Who we got? Empire. Come on, Empire. We got Empire for the film.
In the building. Like I know.
You better act like you know. Come on now.
Hey, hey, hey.
Got Empire in the building. And hop in the building. Let's go. One of the dopest DJs. I got two of my favorite DJs in the building right now. Right? Shout to Clutch, I see your voice. Oh my God. One of the hottest superstars. Hey, what up? Yeah, what up? This is funny. Wow. Trending vibes. Trending vibes. What up?
One big old family.
Big family. You've been around for a while, right?
Yes, sir. Oh my gosh. Been through it.
What's the word? What's good? What's good, bro?
BX is a building.
Clutch, shout out to Clutch, bro.
Yeah, man.
Whoa. Hey,
That's two of my dopest. That's two of my favorite. Actually, my three favorite DJs.
Oh my
You know what I'm saying? Yo, this is dope.
I feel like I'm at 3.
Thank you.
I feel like I'm at 3.
You're number one.
Nah, y'all all number
You're
one
number
than me,
bro.
man.
You're number one, my boy.
Thank you for the impromptu interview.
Thank you
We appreciate
for having me.
you.
Thank you for having me. This
Thank
is
you for just pulling up
world
on
famous.
Thank you, so.
And always for love. You already know I couldn't be there for the other things all gotta pop up.
That's what's up.
That's how we do. That's how we do.
We're in a different time right now. My brother said, then shout out to Vince Cage.
Yeah.
Tough story. I really tough story. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
What's the word, y'all? What's up?
So, let everybody know who you are, what you do, when you do it, how you did it,
Yes,
you
we know.
started, we know, but they need to know.
Well, I'll give you the formal is I go by the name DJ Mafia. You don't know the vibe already. This is my channel, like, so you better get to know game. If not game, we're gonna spit game. You dig? This is how it go. Whoa. That's the formalities, but everybody call me Mo on the side if you don't know that. But yeah, we be doing this for years. Tasha B, Nate, Lord, Jesus. It feel real like it feels so good that I don't like to be around a lot of people, but it just
Right.
if I pop up, this is the only way I pop up at that.
Always, when you got off, you always hit me up
Always
and be
hit
like,
you.
yo, where y'all at, what y'all doing? This is
Shout
your
out.
story. Certain people, you just, you know, it's gonna always be good vibes, you know you're gonna have a good time, you know where to go, you know, so,
Facts. We don't trust people no more. 2021,
nah,
I think you made it real clear.
right.
You got one shot, you want to take that shot and see who you got. You know?
Yep.
Not doing this with nobody else.
Straight like
Everybody sit down,
that. Yeah.
go find your DJ and play with that dude. No homo. You don't did that no more. You stay with family and that's it.
That's it. Straight like that.
That's all crazy. Yeah.
So what,
Let's
what,
go.
tell them what you're doing. We know you got the radio station, you know, tell them where they find you at on, I know Saturdays, you do your thing.
So much stuff going on. So all right. So pretty much, I'm the owner of Hot Bob Radio. station on the internet, www.
Trending Vibes.
Radio, absolutely.
Yeah.
Shout out to Trending Vibes
I
Entertainment.
don't be honest, a lot of people using it now.
Yeah, a lot of people's on it now. We up to about 400 a day, which is great. We working. I'll have to update music locally. DJ Clutch is on. He's one of the DJs on. Tasha B's on it. Presents on. This show is actually on the air. We're just working on how to find Prince. We got it, but they are definitely on deck with that.
All I gotta do is put mixes up there. and I'll be
That's it.
good.
Game time. Summertime's gonna be nuts. I already know y'all already gonna play in the summertime.
Yeah.
We got
Karaoke show's gonna be in there.
absolutely a whole bunch of stuff. She got the karaoke popping again, so
Yes.
we working it out, man. I'm doing a lot of stuff now where I'm working in the Bronx, hitting a lot of small bars and lounges. So they calling now. I'm doing weddings now. I got 4 or 5 weddings a week, not a week, a month, which is a good thing. Every Saturday, I book.
Yes.
So I'm blessed because like DJ took a while, but now it's actually starting to pay off. You know, plus other things we got going on too as well.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yo, we got Empire here, man.
What up?
Like he know, man.
What up? Need some motivation? How that you go?
Yeah. Let's go, yo.
Yo, we can do something different. Yo, can we do something different?
Yeah.
Can we do a Q&A with everybody? Anybody want to ask a question about anything I've asked you? Because like I said, there's a lot of people, right? And I'm not trying to be like some spiritualist, but like there's so many hurt people right now that just need somebody, and they watch the podcast, right? Just so that they can get inspired by somebody from the
Absolutely.
podcast.
That's why we try to make sure we inspire somebody at
That's a
some
fact.
point, or somewhere in the interview. We try to get some positive somewhere.
Always. It's so crazy how like I said, I don't like to be long with it because that's how people be, but it's so crazy how time flipped. Like last year we weren't here where we at right now, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was doing different things, and now everybody's evolving. Like I said, our family's evolving together. We
Yeah.
moving up to the top together, which is weird because ain't nobody really playing this together. Like they playing their stuff, I'm playing my stuff, but we always find some way to meet somewhere in the middle
Right.
and catch common ground, and we just keep pushing forward, you know?
Yeah.
So like right now, it's like everybody needs to just realize your time will come. Just don't push it. You know, you gotta find a solid team or find just to be real with yourself and find some positivity. Because I think that's the most hardest part of life, right? People don't know that the hate is so heavy that they think that it's just cool to hate. And like that should push you back. I don't want to be cursing now. Hate it pushes you back. It pushes you backwards. Every time you hate somebody, imagine you just get pushed deeper down the hole.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So like everybody's shining, everybody getting pushed up, you just get pushed back. So the more you hate, like say me and Clutch is mad cool, right? Clutch, and I'm hating on Clutch. Clutch gonna keep evolving. I'm gonna keep pushing forward. I'm pushing down. I want to keep just getting further down, and I'm looking at him from the top now. And I'm like, damn, I should just chill, just been on some side. Instead of hating so hard, you know. That's what I like to like give out so much the vibe.
I know what you're saying, man, because these type of DJs, there's a lot of DJs out here that are bash DJs for being whack. It's not about being whack, it's about do you want help? And a lot of DJs don't ask for that help because they want to do it on their own. If you want to do it on your own, I'm gonna motivate you. That's what I want to do. But I respect Harper's thing because
You gotta believe in what you have, because what you have today, you may not have tomorrow.
You can lose today.
Talk about it.
You lose today. Like I don't say today you going tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
You will be dead tonight from COVID. People don't realize how serious, right? COVID has impacted people's life. Like they were saying earlier, right? But they putting money in your hand for vaccines, but people not taking it. Something wrong with that.
See, and she was just talking about that earlier. I just got my vaccine, so I'm.
So, you know what I'm saying? Some people don't take it, some people aren't. Some people don't take it, some people not.
So I'm saying, but what works for you,
Right knocking it. Right now, I think you stay around humble people. That vibe will stick with you. Kobe can't do nothing with that.
That's right. There you go. Let's go.
Okay. Yeah.
DJ Clutch.
Yeah, so how y'all been? I mean, we catching up on the air right now.
I know.
This is no interview. This is just family catching up real quick.
I need that as a sample when you say that. I like that.
That's
Yeah, I got you. I got all the. Woo, yeah, I got you.
Dude, did y'all catch allergies too?
Yes, I got bad allergies,
Oh
and
my
it's hurting my
God.
allergies. It's making me so tired and so drained every day.
Look,
That's
this-
everybody.
Allergies.
No, allergies.
Allergies, yeah,
Allergies.
bro, man.
Look, she's ready to house when you put it out.
No.
It's- I don't know where the allergies is coming from. Everybody catching allergies.
Yes.
People don't even have allergies.
Mhm. I don't know what it is. Who knows? Who knows? Everything is in the air now. Like I don't even know. I can't even begin to tell you. But yeah, I'm okay. I'm taking it one day at a time. I got a lot on my plate, a lot on my mind, a lot. Some good, some bad, you know, or whatever. But I'm pushing through and trusting God and believing in my friends, some friends and supporters, you know,
That's it.
and just pushing.
That's it.
You know?
It's a blessing, man. I've been good. I've been well. You know, I've just been maintaining this, taking it one day at a time. You know, it could be worse, but I'm here. You know, I had finally got to finish my hats that I had, and you know, I've been here for a while.
We're talking about that for at least 3-4
Peace,
years.
love, and music. You know, so it's a blessing, man.
That's just dope.
Thank you,
real
thank
dope.
you, thank you. Yeah. I'm working on some navy blue colors too, navy blue and gray.
And what the fuck happened to the pink?
Oh, the pink
You
too,
wanna
right?
get about pink.
Oh, pink and purple.
Yeah.
That's not pink and purple. Yeah, we gonna put that out.
You got black.
Yeah,
I'm black.
I just need purple, pink, and gray and navy blue. That's it. Yeah, it's a wrap. Yeah,
That's
we
another
done.
thing. See, I gotta start
Yeah,
making hats too. Gotta start making hats too.
yeah.
That's definitely a symbol. That symbol you got up there means a lot, man. It's powerful, you know.
Thank
Very
you,
powerful,
bro.
bro.
Thank
Very
you.
powerful. Always love the movement and
Mission is
vibe.
priceless,
Thank
man.
That's a fact, bro.
And I just like I said, just crazy, man. Things like that. Our year went by so fast. But look what you done did from January to now. You know what I'm saying? I remember the podcast first started. We just talking about that.
Right.
Oh, we running up on a year. We must have
Already.
that, yeah.
All right, we gotta get a handshake on
Oh,
that.
Brett, come on, shout out to that.
Running up on a
Yeah.
year.
Make some noise. Jump off for that. Jump something on that.
We about to get the dope party. You got the dope
Oh,
party.
yeah, it's gonna be dope.
Gotta be a big party. We pulling up all the stunts,
Yes.
all the boys.
Everybody was on the shows.
I didn't get invited, so I'm not.
Yeah, right.
I didn't get invited.
You know the vibes. You know the vibes. You know the vibes.
Yeah.
But that's gonna be monumental though. Like when the anniversary. That's gonna be
Anniversary,
So many people didn't think we could do it. So many people had so much negative stuff to
There you
say.
go.
Everybody doing a
Yeah.
podcast. Everybody doing this. But look at us here.
No
Look
more
at us
hard
here.
news, do that.
You see, everybody
We inspire me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's consistency,
Right.
though. That's
I mean,
what
look
makes
at how
y'all
I
pass.
started. See, I started the same thing.
Yeah. And it's been rough. There was days I didn't want to come. Days.
It's by my boy.
But we push through it and make it happen. That's what we do. That's what we do. We make it happen.
That's what hate. Like, the people hate so hard that it blesses you. They don't realize that, yo.
Right.
That shit actually,
Right.
yo, karma and the universe, all that is real. Like, that shit's real. The more people hate on you, the more support you. I don't know how that works, but
Real talk.
yo, I seen DJ days and sessions, and we was at clubs and bars and stuff, and you got DJs pulling in trying to show off, and I'm like, yo, I don't show off. I'm a brand now. Like I go into a spot, I'm entertaining people, and they pay me for my entertainment. I'm not coming to just play music. But when DJs started realizing that, like they start understanding that there's no competition. You could be the wackest DJ on earth, but if something about you charismatically, they love you, the crowd likes what you play, whatever, yo, you were the best in that person's mindset.
I remember like the
Facts,
first time,
facts.
True story.
when you started, like when I first started my podcast, the first thing I got so much negative things.
It's
You know what I'm saying?
crazy.
I said to myself, you know what? It doesn't matter about the negative energy you get. It's about how many people are going to stick by you when the thing is done.
The fans love you, man, and you cannot change them fans.
And we have so many supporters of Let's Talk About It. It's not even funny. I mean,
Yeah.
every time people talk, every time they see us, they be like, so let's talk about it.
But yo, when I told you that when we was on the spot, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is a show type for like a big network type spot.
That's
Like
a
a
fact.
few,
You see
like I
the green
see
logo?
that.
Yes.
I told you that before. Like,
Yeah.
You see the green logo? Oh, yeah, we got a situation up there.
Yeah.
Shout out to Zach Otts over there.
shout out to Zach Oz.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like this is a view type of the panel. You got people talking because, like, yo, let's talk about it. I don't care how many podcasts on Facebook right now. Okay, how many podcasts on shot on YouTube right now?
Right.
This is different. You can't compete with this.
It is.
Trying to get to a podcast up with you, so you would never get this because the vibe is not meant. You know what I'm saying? This is their vibe.
And you know, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. When I was, trying to figure out a name for you know, the show or whatever, and I came up with a couple of names or whatever, ran them past Nat, you know, whatever, and you know, we decided on this one. Someone told me, they said, let's talk about it. What you think this is?
Simple.
Some white show,
Wow.
and that took me back, and I was just like,
Wow.
yes,
It's like,
let's
what's
go with
so-
it.
It's like, what's a white show? You know what
Yo,
I'm saying?
exactly.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand that or whatever. And they were like, I think the idea is cool, but the name gotta go. All right,
People
you know
always try
what?
to discourage you in some way.
Exactly.
And
I
look,
said,
we
well,
here.
I'm gonna rock with it, and you know, if we decide to change it later, we can always change it
That's it.
later.
How that work?
And you know, like
Change it.
out of everybody, right? That you know, she hit me like, yo, you know, I want you to be my co-host. That was dope. Like, you know, I shout you out, thank you, Tasha B.
How was that?
But you know, for considering me, your boy, you know what I'm saying? The tourist, you know me, the gentleman, the traveler. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, no doubt. I wouldn't have it no other way. You know, knowing how we doing it now and how we vibing up, I wouldn't have it no other way.
That's a good story.
That's a fact.
We rocking out. We both, you know, putting into this, and we going hard for it. And I only can see better things coming.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Non-stop. Pedal to the metal.
Yeah.
I learned this in 2021. Without consistency, you got nothing. And that's terrible to say that at 40 years old, telling you this is straight to Cameron, to everybody, yo. It took me 40 years to figure out consistency is what matters only.
Well, this is what I be trying to tell these, but you know, some of these owners at the venues and stuff like that. You know, every day is not gonna be a $1 million day, you know, or whatever. But being consistent, it will pay off. Just be consistent, be consistent, be consistent. I understand, you know, they think we don't understand yet. You may lose a couple of dollars here, but consistency is gonna pay off in the end. You know, but you know.
Karen, your business been jumping
That's
forever. Like they gotta remember also, like yo, people are just going back outside,
Yes,
yo.
yes.
Like your friends at you. I remember going to your spots in Gasolinas and not even what's the other spot over by Steppins.
Steppins.
Yo,
That's
packed,
lit up in there.
packed.
Every Monday.
Every Monday, Thursdays, packed, lit
On a
out.
Monday.
Word.
Right.
These DJs that can't pull right people on a Saturday night. Right, just to come out just to vibe with them. You got people jumping on karaoke on a
On
Monday
a Monday.
Even on a
with no promoter.
Word.
You just the only promoter doing this on your own. Oh, you got that stuff with that. That's what and that, a lot of owners of bars, because I said we were trying to do that too. Like we trying to buy a couple bars and stuff.
Right.
And like these owners, they so scared about money, which I know I get it. You know, business owner, your investment is what you earn and have, what you need a return from. But you gotta trust the people you put in your investment.
Yeah.
Gotta trust the process.
You gotta trust the process. That's it.
Yeah, you
Gotta trust the process.
with anything, you gotta just trust it and invest in it. And it gotta be money sometimes. It be spirituality, it could be your mind, mental. Like, let's trust it. You know, it's gonna work. Speaking in the universe is gonna come true.
That's a true story.
Seem like these days, a lot of stuff you speak in the universe comes back to you.
Yes.
Somebody listening up there, so.
All right, like you said, as long as you stick around positivity and motivation, you know, people that's running that want to see you win, you know what I mean? It's gonna happen.
It's
You
gonna
can't,
happen.
you know, be around undercover haters and the devils and people that, you know, they smile in your face, you know what I'm saying, want to snap you in your back type
They
shit.
smile in your face.
That shit is real.
That's a
The
hard.
OJs,
That's a
the
hard.
OJs,
Yeah,
that song.
yeah.
That song
That's
is
a fact.
real.
I got something else for y'all since we
Right.
talking, right? Let's talk about it, right?
Talk about it.
This year,
Man, I'm in the building.
I'm in the building. I'm motivated.
Let's
I'm
go.
a motivated factuator. That's when we get popping and just DJ, do all
Let's
our
go.
business.
Let's go.
Yo, this year, I've learned, and I talked to a couple of my friends about a lot of them, they're millionaires, like quietly. You got to be selfish.
True.
Throwing this gym out to you. You got to be selfish. You got to say, fuck that person. Vince K said it again, reference what he just said. You got to step on toes. I was going to say that when I got saying, yo, people was like, yo, how can you say that? Yo, you can step on toes and you won't help your brother. You know what I say to my brother? Fuck that man. If he don't want to push up where I'm going to,
And
I'm going to do it.
You know, that's crazy you say that because, you know, for people like me, I have a hard time doing it, but I get it. And I still get it. And I'm doing it more, to be honest. But it's so hard for me to just be like, you know, you're not riding with me, fuck you. You know, you're not
That's it.
down
the
for me,
only
you're not
way.
supporting me, you know. It is, it really is.
I'm gonna tell you my
Because-
downfall why that happened. Because I was thinking like you, right? And I'm gonna tell a couple of DJs that I'm not gonna name names, but a couple of DJs I came up with and doing this whole thing with. Them dudes couldn't cut the mustard. we would do parties, do shows, and then like we were headliners, and I look at them as headliners. Like if me and Clutch go out, I'm not no headliner, he's not no headliner. We just gonna rock the show. We both headliners. Some guys didn't see that in themselves.
Right.
So like if you can't see yourself as a Khaled, or you can't see yourself as somebody bigger that can rock like a Barclays Center, as the standpoint of where you are right now, you ain't never going nowhere further. So you gotta say to yourself, and there gotta be a point. That's where the point came with me. Like, you know what? I can't sit back and let my family suffer for somebody else not lacking on their self-esteem. This is heavy. This is heavy gems.
That's a true story. I had to,
Talk your shit, man.
Let's
yeah,
talk
I
about
had
it.
to start doing stuff just like, you know, I used to wait around and like, you know, wait for people's approval, wait around and just, you know, make sure that I can make it happen. Now I just do it.
Just do it.
I just do it. I don't wait for nobody. I don't wait for nobody to tell me it's okay to do it. I don't, you know, because I don't have to, because I know I can do it by myself. I know that I can do it, you know.
Time waits for no one.
No one.
Yeah.
We moving forward.
I'm glad you ain't wait. I ain't glad you ain't wait for me.
Nah.
Time is money.
We-
Is to put that work in.
I look at like
Talk
life
to
like
me.
this right now. We dying as we speak.
Talk about it.
Right now, we are dying as we speak. We're not getting younger, we dying. So why not put that work in? So when someone at your funeral look at you in the coffin, they're gonna say, yo, this nigga put his work in. That person put
Person
their
was a
work in.
good boy. No, good man.
Hopefully, you know, knock on wood, and I said, no time soon, but like, I'm seeing it now, like, yo, I just selfish with everything I do, yo. Like, I'm just putting my work in like it's my last. If it's not my last, I'm gonna make it my last. Every show I party, every DJ show, everything I do, I put in my last work just because the next day ain't promised. The next week ain't promised. Next month ain't promised. And then that's it. Like I said, Bill Gates said it. Warren Buffett, all these dudes said,
Yeah.
that's how they get to the top. And like I said, that we just gotta start thinking like that. There's a lot of people that's watching that probably ain't. So we
Yeah,
gonna do.
they
We
ain't
gonna
gonna
show
agree
them.
with you. They ain't gonna agree with you, but hey,
That's cool. We'll
that's
show you.
your thing.
We'll show you how it works.
It is what it is. You know? So let's get into, you know, your parties, man. You know what I'm saying? Keep turning. I remember we did a networking event.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that was dope. That was
You know,
dope.
in
Man.
2019, it's
We gotta do
crazy.
one of those
At
things.
gasoline, yeah, we about to do the third one. Yeah, networking event.
We know we're gonna do. I got a couple of parties that I want to throw. Another thing I did, and I'm just bringing it to what we're talking about. I stopped asking promoters, stopped going to promoters to see if I can get in their clubs. I just create the events. That's it. Like whatever
I
that you
respect
said.
that.
Just
I
I'm
respect
tired
that.
of doing people parties and gigs. I don't want nobody
Facts.
hiring me. I'd rather just hire myself, make the money myself, and me keep moving forward. You know, like that's how they did it back in the old days. You know what I'm saying? As a DJ, you gotta go back to the old school. So, not Flex, Flash and these dudes wouldn't go to clubs. They weren't allowed to go to clubs and stuff. So what they did at parties in the park or the street,
Right.
and they made it work with other DJs.
Right.
So now I'm at the point now, like Nate talking about, like we just started just throwing parties. And like I said, with the clientele, everybody here got at least 5 people. Sasha got way more than 5. She got enough that we can have a party by ourselves, and now it's all quiet where we only inviting us, and everybody know our pool or whatever, and we just keep that money within the house. Screw it, y'all promoters don't want our money, no problem. No venues don't want our money, no problem. But eventually y'all gonna know.
And I salute you for that, Hopper. Or you started your own radio. You know, man, fuck the radio show. I started my own show. I'm tired of waiting for people
Moving forward.
You made it happen. And shout out to DJ Clutch, man, because he be going to pop up in fucking cell phone stores.
That's how you sit in.
Yo,
You be
that's
doing it.
different.
Every
I
time
never
I
seen
turn around,
nobody
you
doing
be like,
shit
"No,
like
I'm
that.
here. No, I'm over
It be
here."
loud.
Metro PCS,
Yeah.
Yeah, on phone.
I'm at DJ Mix. Shout out to DJ Mix. I'm at
Anyway.
yesterday, bro.
DJ Mix.
Yo,
Shout out to DJ Mix.
That's called grind right there. No shade, no cap.
I be trying to get to him every time. I be like, God damn, I wish you had to give me a heads up.
Yeah, because he pop up on you. He go live. Like, damn.
I just need to get myself out
You on it. You're on your way,
Nah,
bro.
that's dope, yo.
You're on your way, bro. That's how that shit starts.
Clutch is different. Y'all too is
Yeah.
different.
Clutch is, he's the youngest dude I've met, right? That his mindset is focused. Like he already got it together and he know what he's doing. But if I had that when I was his age, I'll probably be way further now. But now I got it. So now we're gonna keep further going from
I'm
there.
glad y'all connected too.
Facts,
You know,
man.
you always connecting the dots.
Facts, connecting the dots.
Yo, this is dope.
Dope. This is dope.
So what's your next party?
Yes.
What's
the next party? What's
You know,
the
I'm
next
there.
party?
I gotta come.
We
I
got,
know you have something at
We're
the
gonna need you to
tap
help
room
us
too. I missed that.
put together this 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, let me know.
party.
We definitely work something out.
Yeah.
I got still got a couple joints. So like now we working on Madden. Shout out to Trish. Me and Trish, she was working on something where we gonna do first Fridays at Madden's. Then back to Jay's Tavern again. We doing first Saturday.
Matt as well?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Madden's.
so the post
Definitely, right, yeah. Me and Trish
Okay,
always-
so what you gonna do on the opposite Friday of my Friday?
Pops, yeah, we do that.
Oh, okay.
That'd be cool because you go Friday too, right?
I'm
You
this
first
Friday.
Okay,
No,
so
I'm this Friday and then every other Friday.
so we'll in between and in
Right.
between joints. So this how we work together, right?
Right.
And then I'm doing Madden's the same thing. Oh, Shays, I'm over there doing the same thing. I'm on Jolly Tinker, I'm doing the same thing. And I'm just hitting these spots, these scoreboards while I got the time. Small things. Nah, we doing it on our own. Like I said, the music and the crowd will tell itself. 29th, I got a birthday, not birthday party. This week coming up, yeah. Probably, yeah, Memorial Day weekend. I'm not doing it. I'll give you the tag. Yeah, you know what? You know that. But I give everybody the address. Feel clutch. Pull up. We gonna be on the radio all day. Shout out to Select City Radio, and Black Hot Vibes Radio. We gonna be out on there just barbecuing, having a good time in the park, bringing kids out. It's not like advertised, so I'll let y'all know. Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all know. But you can hear us on the radio, Hot Vibes Radio, Select City Radio. Clutch will be there. You hear him on the radio. You already know the vibe. So, but I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm not throwing the address out because it's not that type of party.
That's right.
You
Hello.
already got the little witch doctors up here ready, so whatever. So it's so bad.
See what's up.
You already know. And they say, y'all people to say that. Like, I'm not trying to cause no problems between nobody. But like, this is a family party.
That's a full
You can
time.
listen to it though on the radio. It's not bad.
Right.
I can't wait for that. You say on the grill.
Yeah, it's gonna be something on the grill. It's gonna got a lot of DJs is gonna be
Memorial
out
Day
there.
weekend. Yeah.
And we might be at a special location that night. So
Nice.
we might be at after party. So, yeah.
And I'm doing this.
Let's go, man. Let's go, nigga.
Anyway, we want to thank you.
Thank you. We wanna thank you, bro. This is
You
dope.
just-
Alpha, man. You know what it is. It's legendary, man.
Yeah,
That's
keep
who.
the show popping up.
Love it.
Gave us a dope interview. Let us know. Dropped a few gems on
Love
us
it.
and everything.
Love it. Thank y'all. This is so dope.
Yeah, we appreciate
It's
you,
an honor.
man.
It's an honor. Y'all just keep rocking, vibing out. As I grow, you'll grow, man. Like I said, I gotta keep up with y'all now. So, yeah, I'm growing fast.
Nah, no, bro. I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you. Thank you. Always family.
You know, spending vibes.
Appreciate the vibes. And shout out to Clutch. Killing it as always. So,
Yo, shout out to Chef Dollars in the building, man. You know what it is. You got Chef Dollars in the building. What's up? Yeah. Yeah. My son got bars over there.
Bars of hot bars.
Bars over there. Agency is in the building.
Hey, that's right. Agency is in the building. God damn it.
Let's go.
Agency is in the building. Hey.
let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about
Go girl, my guy. Go girl, go girl, go girl, go girl, go girl, go girl. Shake that Go girl, go girl, go girl, go girl, go girl.
Show me some of your mustard. Catch up to the bandwagon. Focus right now, feel like the whole sucker. And we go for the record. Be a low key, kinda hard with the cameras. A boyfriend hit, but she was so careless. Baby, you know that it's a remix, but she just got a wee fit. Niggas gon' get you weird. On my back, yeah. Let's get to that weed, let's throw around there. Yeah, I'm working. You won't work, that's nice.